In our textbook, Looking at Movies by Richard Bartholomew and David Monahan, repetition is defined as the number of times a story element recurs in a plot. It is often a crucial component of a storyline and can assist the plot in many different ways. The more often a pattern is repeated, the more significant that element is to the narrative. In Bartholomew's Song, directed by David Destin Cretton and Lowell Frank, and Kleingeld, directed by Marc Andreas Boucher, the movies are guided heavily by the use of repetition in various ways to help with the setting and to further develop the plot. In the opening seconds of Bartholomew's Song, you see the daily routine of these people in what appears to be a guarded compound of some sort. As the story progresses, you see the same pattern of these 5 men walking to and from their position at the factory. This confirms that they have a routine and that in this society, individualism is not appreciated. In Kleingeld, Hoffman and the beggar have formed a relationship. You see Hoffman give change to this beggar multiple times, and at some points, Hoffman has pulled the money out even before he sees this man. Both of these scenes are shown multiple times and in similar locations, helping to set the scene for each film's plot. These scenes are shown with very similar shots, indicating that they are familiar images, defined by Stephen Scharf as an image that a director periodically repeats in a movie, with or without variations, to help stabilize its narrative. The repetition calls attention to itself as a narrative element. In Bartholomew's Song, establishing this pattern of walking to and from work and assembling things in the same order without moving or breaking form is important because it makes Bartholomew 467's deviations throughout the film more significant and drives the narration in the direction it needs to go. Kleingeld's use of repetition and patterns also influences the narrative, but in a slightly different way. The relationship between Hoffman and the homeless man is shown and explained through this familiar image. According to Edwin Vestergaard Ka, this exchange shows not only what is happening with Hoffman's change, it also builds up an understanding of an exchange between the men, of a potentially mutual commitment, which becomes significant later when the homeless man rejects Hoffman's large donation that he is giving out of remorse and pity. While these two films both use repetition brilliantly to help drive the narrative of the story, they do so in different ways. Bartholomew's Song relies on this repetition and the familiar image to highlight how different Bartholomew 467 is from the others and show one of the themes of the short film, the loss of individualism. Kleingeld uses repetition and familiar image to show an important relationship between the two leading characters, which is essential for understanding the final scene in which the beggar will not take Hoffman's money.